The President for the Day is an initiative that is done uniquely here at AUBH. This is a day where a student comes and spends time, a day, or at least part of the day, with me, really running the university. And this is a real-time thing. It's not just something that we've made up for the student to experience, but they get to meet all of the staff. They really just take over the day, whatever's in that day, whether it's phone calls or emails, time pressure, whatever it is for that day, they get to feel that and feel what it's like to have to make decisions on the spot, to have to manage priorities, to deal with all the different constituents of a university. And they realize that it's not maybe as easy as it seems sometimes, that you're not just sitting up with your feet on the desk, making decisions here and there, however you would like. You have bosses, you have clients, you have customers, you have a lot of demands, and of course, competing priorities. And sometimes it's tough to make those decisions and tough to solve all of the issues. And you have to figure out a way to do it. That's the job, and they get to experience it for an entire day.
I'm going to be spending the entire day with President Saxton. From president to president, I think this is going to be a very invigorating experience, both for our relationship as presidents and for my task as student council president. I think it's going to be very exciting, very educational, and I am very honored to have this experience.
I'm really looking forward to spending time with her today. One of the reasons that this is such an important initiative for us is it allows students to see what really goes on behind the scenes in managing a university. It also teaches them some of the soft skills. They get exposed to collaboration, they get exposed to management styles, solving problems, making decisions, accountability, which is a big theme from today. And they really just get an opportunity to experience what goes on in the daily life as a senior person running a department, or in this case, a university. Thinking about all of those things within the context of the bigger picture. So, thinking about, being student-centered, thinking about our mission, thinking about this wonderful kingdom, what are the decisions that I have to make to make sure that we're doing the very best that we can do for our students, that we are producing these, career-oriented, employment-ready students.
Yes.
What are we doing to be out in the community? I mean, we've got this beautiful campus and we've got this amazing institution, but what are we really doing for Bahrain?
Sign here, yeah. Sign go. Here.
Did you read it?
I'm supposed to read things?
Always before you're going to sign something.
What?
Your signature is your bond. You know how most people have a boss, a supervisor. You have a lot of them because you have two boards, a board of directors and a board of trustees. Yes. And all of these people, they're your bosses. So when you sign something, it doesn't stop necessarily with you. Those two boards, they govern the entire university. So that's how you have to see it, that when you're signing also, on behalf of them, on behalf of the management of this institution, as well as, of course, yourself.
So what we've been talking about were things like a 2+2, where you spend 2 years of your education here in Bahrain at this university, and you spend 2 years of your education in California, in LA, at the CSUN campus. Another option is this 3+1, where you do 3 years here in Bahrain and then 1 year in California.
Nice to meet you. My name is Atharie.
Nice to meet you, Atharie, and congratulations on being president for a day. That's quite an honor.
It is.
I wanted to thank the university for supporting us on Discover America Day, or Discover America Week. I don't know if you know, we had an event there. It was the very first day, and we really appreciated the collaboration. We appreciated the opportunity to highlight the U.S. technology with Microsoft and Amazon at the school, and to take a tour. And so we want to continue our collaboration with the university.
Finally, I can share the budget to all the directors of the relevant departments of the university, marketing, student affairs, facilities, IT, so that they can finally know what financial resources they have for the year and how they can spend it accordingly. She's doing very well.
I know.
Thank you.
Well, I think we wanted to talk a little bit about accreditation in Kuwait and in the Saudi, so that students who are interested in coming here can be recognized by their host countries. So
Yes.
this would be sort of the first steps for the GCC.
Okay.
And, it's remotely tied in with our BQA process and with US regional accreditation, and also our relationship with CSUN. So all of those things kind of are flowing together.
Hello,
Hello, hi.
Mr. Khalid. Yes, hi.
Hi, Atharie.
Hi.
How do you pronounce your name? I'm sorry.
Atharie.
Atharie. Okay, hi, how are you?
Yeah, very good. How are you? How's your day going?
I'm good.
Yes.
Good. Everything's fine, thank you. How's your day going?
A very
Are you coping with
interesting
all the work too?
day. Yeah, I'm trying to. There's a bunch of things to write down, but it's going good, I think. Any news for me?
This is probably nothing related to what Susan experiences day in, day out.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Throughout
it's
the
like
day.
a small bite of experiences.
There is actually a breakdown. We can give it to you and then you can
I
decide.
think our president has an affinity for multimedia, so
Oh, yes.
I guess we're going to go with that, huh?
You are multimedia.
Yes.
Because they all have talked to each other before they've come to talk to you,
Yes.
typically.
Yes.
And they prepare, even though some of the things they come from Eman, they are prepared by the departments. So by the time you get them, you already know what's happening. You already have had the discussions. They have already had the discussions. They've made the case already
Yes.
to you or to others. And you have all of the information that you need to actually sign off on those things. So you see, yeah.
Of course, we are launching also the internship program in IT.
Yes.
So probably a lot of our students who are interested in being or working in IT will be exposed to this kind of pilot, and generously, thanks to everybody in AUBH and our president, will get the first hands-on in the region for some of the technologies that we're offering here. So basically, it helps developing their portfolio as students at AUBH and emphasizing on the idea that we are building the capabilities.
We also are focusing on our growth, so evolving our enrollment capabilities, making sure that we have the right process in place. We are running as efficiently as possible, as quickly as possible, to really support a student from him being a lead all the way to being enrolled.
It's part of what we do. We keep an eye on everything. So we keep an eye on attendance, performance, what's happening in the classroom, what's happening in examinations, how are students experiencing ProctorU as an examination tool, and so on.
You have something coming up about that on Sunday.
Yes.
If they talk about the technology, or they talk about student attendance, or they talk about, the faculty members and what they're adding, if you talk about, all those things, when you go to the classes, you see it for yourself. You can see whether students are engaged. You can see, how the technology is working and how the faculty are using it. How many students are just walking the campus, how many students are having a good time. You see all the things that you heard, you see for yourself when you walk the campus.
Yes, yes.
There's a concept called, it's an older concept in management, it's called management by walking around. But for me, I like to see things firsthand.
It's great.
And talk to different people and get different points of view. It's always a bit of a difficult thing because, when you see things or when you hear them from one source, you tend to get an opinion. So you always have to be really careful about that. Like, we want to hire really smart people and people who are very student-centered and people who are looking to create that best experience for the students and let them do their job. I don't have all of the answers, but I love having this very talented group of advisors. This is sort of how we operate. So what you heard today were all of the advisors coming to you.
Yes.
So, but you noticed that when you said, well, I'd like this and this and this, they paid attention.
Yes, they did.
They kind of gave you pros and cons.
Yes, yes, yes. And they're very quick with their responses as well.
Well, they're very smart.
They are very smart. They have a lot of qualifications and everything.
Yes, they know the business very, very well, and we hire very, very well here.
Yes.
So we're very lucky in that respect.
Today's experience was probably the most informational, in-depth experience about how everything runs behind the scenes in a university. I did not know as much as I do now before I walked into the president's office this morning. Today I'm going home with a bunch of lessons, but the main lessons I will take away from today was the leadership style of each of the meetings. I saw the structure of how the meetings are conducted, and I really feel like I could use that in future interviews, in managing my own council as student council president. I really enjoyed how the structure was and the questions asked to each individual leader of their respective department. That's one lesson. And another lesson is accountability. Being there and responding to each person throughout the day is a lot of tasking work, but making sure everybody knows that you're there for them is very important. And while I do this already in my daily life, I noticed that being a president, you have to be way more responsive. Like in that moment, you have to interrupt the person you're talking to and say, hold on, I have to account to this other person on the line with me. It's a lot of work and people depending on you, but I think accountability is a big factor in being a leader and makes you credible at the end of the day and a valuable person to have as a leader. But those are the two main lessons I think I will take home.
So first, I love working with Atharie. She's bright and she's energetic, and she clearly just loves being here and loves everything about the university, which is really wonderful. And to see her sitting in the chair and asking questions and sometimes looking like a little bit curious about what to do was just a great pleasure for me. I felt like she really understood the intent of this initiative and really took it on, as she told me, with great confidence. I hope that these are experiences for our students where they do build the confidence that they will have to over time in order to be very successful employees. But it was such a treat to watch her figuring out what she needed to know in order to answer a question and what to do for the follow-up. And even more fun to see her take calls from our board member and to text with regulator and to take a call from the charge d'affaires at the U.S. Embassy. She just was so delighted and she handled it so well. I was so proud of her. She didn't get flustered and she didn't act like she didn't know what to do. Every once in a while she looked over, to see if there's any advice. I tried to be as quiet as I could to let her kind of manage her way through it. But understand that this, what happened today, this was a normal day for us. And I also learned a few things today. Some of the ideas that were expressed today and some of the discussion is not discussion that I have had before today. So she and I were sort of working on this in tandem. Her ability to identify the issues and ask proper questions was wonderful. At the same time, I was trying to figure out how we should be following up on some of these things, because these were actually things that I need to attend to even after she's gone. About in the middle of the day, I thought to myself, I'm feeling pretty comfortable that I could leave now and she would do a really, really great job. I was so proud of her.
My highlights of today was actually getting a very unexpected call from the U.S. Embassy. It was in the middle of a meeting and I had to reply to the actual U.S. Embassy. I've never even spoken to anybody in the U.S. Embassy or any embassy.
I think if I had to pick a moment or two, they would be around when she learned things that she didn't know. And she was sincerely excited about them. And she went from being president of the university to student again, and then came back and said, okay, now we know what we need to do. That was one highlight. I think another highlight was signing documents. This is where we learned right up front that your signature is your bond. You should know what you're signing and you'll be accountable to that, which means you really need to know about a lot of things before you put your name on paper. And but she did that really, really well. She asked whatever questions she had, and again, as she said, she moved forward with confidence, and an unusual confidence for somebody of her age. But this is a person that will go very far, and I found her to be just fantastic.
Confidence is key, and when I walked into that office today, I made the decision to be confident and to be the president for the day, and it really turned out well. I realized that I am a leader and I can make big moves just by believing in myself. Believe in yourself, be confident.
The best advice I would have would be to seek out these types of experiences where you're coordinating, conversing, and working with different kinds of people, particularly people in high positions who have something to share and who are willing to mentor you, and to engage with them just as much as possible. It's amazing how much you learn when you are actively part of the fabric in a university or in your job. And so I would suggest that aside from just #showing up, you show up with enthusiasm, you ask lots of questions, you show your passion, and just love what you do.